Welcome to Virtual Open House for 3M. Here are just a few of the things that we're going to be talking about in this slideshow. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Mrs. Miller. I'm currently on maternity leave. Our new baby was born on August 2nd, so I technically won't be back to school until September 16th. However, I will be running some things online. My husband and our two daughters, Kennedy and Reagan, we live in Harbor Creek with our two cats, Vanilla and Latte. This is my 12th year teaching in the Mill Creek School District, and it is my 7th year teaching third grade at Tracy. Here is a tentative schedule of what it's going to look like when we are in school as of right now. When you come to school, we will do our morning work and have breakfast just like we always would and start our day off with math. Our new schedule in third grade, we have specials from 11 to 11:35, followed by lunch at 11:40 till 12:10, and then we'll come back and we will have ELA. That stands for English Language Arts. So that's reading, writing, grammar, spelling, a whole mixture of all of that. And then unfortunately, as of right now, we don't technically have recess, but we do have a walking time, and our class walks from 2:05 to 2:20. We will be walking outside when the weather is nice and as much as possible. But if it is inside, we will walk in the hallways. Afterwards, with our extra time, we will potentially have maybe a second math lesson or finish up some ELA or even do some science and social studies. Mr. Bull doesn't know the exact time of our buses and their arrival yet. So we'll have a gradual dismissal from 3:05 to 3:30 at this time. So when you're at home, it's not necessarily going to be a schedule. I'm calling them daily tasks. So first, you're going to always want to log on to Google Classroom to see what your assignments are for the day. Then from there, you're going to use Clever to go into Reflex, Freckle, or McGraw-Hill, which is our math and our reading programs. Each subject has their own Google Classroom and their own color group. So it doesn't matter what you do first or the order that you do it as long as everything is complete each day. So for math, you'll probably have some sort of online review of what we did the day before in class. Then you'll have the online homework since we're not going to physically be turning in paper homework this year. You will then get a green light. Our goal is always 3 green lights a week. Well, you're home three days, so that will be perfect. You're also welcome to do it even more. And then you'll complete your math freckle assignments. We will teach you in school how to log on and access all of these before we actually just assign them at home. For ELA, you will log in to Google Classroom and find out that you'll probably have some maybe stories or other tasks to complete on Wonders. You might read a story and then go onto Google Classroom and answer some questions about the story for a grade. You will also have freckle assignments on there, which they can be reading, spelling, and grammar as well. And then our biggest thing is we do ask you to read to self for 20 minutes. It can be anything of your choice, chapter books, picture books, even magazines or newspapers, as long as you are reading for 20 minutes by yourself. At this time, we're not sure how social studies and science are going to go because our biggest focus is math and reading, writing. So we may do some stuff in class and then have a few assignments online, but they may be due in a couple weeks or even a month. You might create a project or watch some things and answer some questions. It will flip-flop science and social studies. I believe we will start the year with science with states of matter. And lastly, I'm going to try very hard to keep our blue and white groups together. You may have a friend or a neighbor or someone in the white group and you're in the blue group. I'm hoping to keep them on the same pace, but it is possible that one group could get ahead of the other. However, we are going to keep them together as much as possible. Okay, we have a new special schedule this year, so it's going to keep, I'll have to keep track myself. So, day one, we have gym. So, when you come to school for the very first day, you will be going down to the gym to see Mr. Powell. Day two, art. Three is music. Four is library. And then on day five, our specials are cut a little bit short this year. So now we'll rotate through. So the first day five will have gym. The second time day five comes around, we'll have art. The third day five will have music and so on. I will make sure that this is posted in Google Classroom and even written down in your planners of what you will have when you return to school each day. And then day six, like always, there is not a special because that's used for extra time for either academics or other things that are going on in the school. Please remember that when we have gym that you wear sneakers and comfortable clothes. I also suggest it for walking because I don't know where we're going to be walking around the school just yet. However, we won't be on the playground as of right now. McGraw-Hill is the maker of our math and reading programs. Our math is My Math. We are orange. Everybody in the district uses this. So for daily lessons, when you're in school, I will teach you, and then we'll do the independent practice together, and then you'll go home and do the online homework the next day. It actually will be hopefully available that evening, but technically on your virtual day, you will be assigned one or two online homeworks based on what we did in class. There's also other helpful videos. There's some tutoring, self-check quizzes, games, songs, and more. Feel free to play around on My Math. Students will be required to get 3 green lights a week on all of your virtual days. This is all self-paced, so no adult help is needed. Wherever you left off in second grade, if you're adding and subtracting, you'll pick right back up there. If you were multiplying and dividing last year, you will this year. You just get bumped up to 12 times 12. And if you're new this year, it will give you a pre-test and put you where you should be. Same thing with freckles. Some assignments will go right along with the lessons, such as maybe rounding to the nearest 10. You'll have an activity on rounding to the nearest 10 on freckle. And sometimes there will be other lessons throughout the week that are just at your level that may be something like geometry, because we don't do geometry until the very end of the year, but we don't want to not talk about rectangles until the very end of the year. So you'll see some things sporadically. So we also use McGraw-Hill for our reading program, which is called Wonders. I'll refer to it as our camel book since there's a big camel on the front. We will do all the whole group shared reading and guided reading in school. And then modeled reading and independent reading will be at home. The independent is your 20 minutes of reading by yourself. And the modeled reading will be online where you could read the story yourself if you want, or it can read to you. There'll be a couple of stories each week or every several days that you will be reading at home. When it comes to writing, we're going to start writing at school, paper and pencil, and then as the year goes on, we will work on making documents and typing and how to share them and submit them. So the better our typing skills go, the more we will move to online because you'll be doing that in fourth and fifth grade and into middle school as well. Continuing, as of right now, things like grammar, spelling, vocab. It will not be a weekly, you get your words on Monday, you test on Friday. We will let you know how it goes. We actually don't know how long it's going to take us because we've never done an AB schedule before. But you will always have a grammar skill that you'll be working on. I believe in the beginning of the year it's complete sentences and then types of sentences. There's always 8 vocabulary words of the week. And then spelling, there's always 20 words. As of right now, we'll keep everybody at the on level list just to keep things kind of the same. But pretty much all quizzes and tests will be taken on Google Forms or on the McGraw-Hill website to reduce the amount of paper. However, they instantly are graded and will be posted very quickly. Here are the topics for science and social studies that we normally cover in third grade. Some things may be condensed or potentially eliminated just based on the year, but we will be starting off with the states of matter with science right in probably September, October-ish. Homework and planners. I'm sure this is going to be a big hit with third grade because there's no nightly homework. Um, Normally, I would assign something and then it's due the next day and you'd have to bring it back. Well, that's not true. Our nightly homework will now just be homework and practice that'll be assigned on your virtual day. Mostly everything should be completed online and submitted online, and we'll practice doing that in school before it is actually counted for any sort of points um, for your grade. I believe they're still going to give us planners. We'll still write in our planners the things that we might need to do and also maybe the specials and some other things that are going on. But all plans will actually be posted for children on their Google Classroom. Here is our supply list. We ask that students bring a small 3-ring binder. This will go back and forth just like your Chromebook. Um, we ask that you have a supply pouch, preferably not a box because they explode when they hit the ground. Colored pencils, crayons, expo markers. That's a big one. I provide you a whiteboard and we do lots and lots of, especially math, on our whiteboards in class. Same with glue sticks. We seem to go through a lot of those. Some pocket folders, scissors. We recommend earbuds or headphones, your choice, ones that you can keep in school. I don't recommend anything fancy or expensive. Just throw them in a little baggie and we'll put them in your seat sack. Lots of pencils, and new this year, water bottle. The drinking fountains have been removed in the hallway and replaced with water bottle fill up stations. So it kind of reduces germs. And same thing with the classroom. We won't be using the actual fountains, students and myself. We will just fill up our water bottles from the sink. It's the exact same water. And water bottles will be taken home nightly to be cleaned. Other things we would like: tissues, sandwich bags, again, extra expo markers, and any sort of cleaning supplies since they're so limited right now. And lastly, and most importantly, is we need you to label all of your child's supplies, even write on their expo markers and scissors, even if it's just their initials, because we can't have anything to be shared. So if something's on the ground, we'll know whose it is. But unfortunately, we can't be lending things to other students. Birthdays. I plan to still celebrate birthdays. We have two actually in September. They just need to be store purchased. And my rule this year is it has to be individually wrapped. So unfortunately, we can't do cupcakes or boxes of cookies where we would pass out maybe 4 cookies to each child. I don't want to have to pour anything. We're going to eliminate all the touching. So everything has to be individually wrapped from a store, such as fruit snacks, zebra cakes, Twinkies, ho-hos, little bags of goldfish or pretzels, anything that can be easily passed out and not touched by anybody. Oh, also, each group only has about anywhere between maybe 6 and 10 kids. So on your day, you would only have to bring in about a dozen treats, unless you really want to provide another dozen treats for the other group if you maybe have a best friend, as long as everybody gets a snack. Our Cool to Be Kind program is still going on. We have something else added in this year called Second Step, which is going to go along with teaching how we should be respectful, responsible, and kind. And students can earn stars and rewards just like they did in kindergarten, first and second. And then we use these rewards like for movies. We've done board game day, extra recess. We've done theme day where we've dressed in certain colors, or maybe a pajama day, whatever the class votes on. Again, it might be a little bit different this year just based on our new schedule. Google Classroom. More information is going to come home soon, and you should be receiving a video of how to access Google Classroom, I believe, from our district, hopefully soon. It's available on any device as long as you can access the internet. Parents can be connected so you can receive reports. This year, I'm doing a math, an ELA, and then a science and social studies classroom for each group. And in there every day, you will see the assignments and any announcements for your child. Now, that has to be on your child's account. Parents cannot actually access the information inside Google Classroom. They can only see grades and classwork reports. So when parents want to be in touch with me or see what's going on, I'm going to be using Class Dojo. It's available as an app on your phone, or you can just simply go to classdojo.com and I'll provide you a code or a link. I can send it to your cell phone or your email based on what's in Infinite Campus. If that doesn't work, I can send a code home on a piece of paper for you to connect with your child. You can then see any photos that I might post or projects of things that we do, other fun things such as parties. I've posted pictures in the past. You can also see your child's behavior. This is how I use my token system. Students in school can earn 3 points a day for being respectful, responsible, and kind. If they're only maybe earning 1 or 2 points, that means they may have needed a few reminders throughout the day of our school expectations. And if you see they're losing points, that means they've needed several reminders or have had a specific incident. I'm also going to try to come up with a system of providing points for students who are completing their virtual work at home as well. So it may be 2 or 3 points from home for completing maybe math and then their ELA, so they can still earn some more points. And then students can choose to spend or save, typically each week. I have a whole list of rewards from simple things such as prizes and candy to all the way up to pizza parties and other fun things. And lastly, Dojo is the way that parents can communicate with me back and forth. It's just like a text message. It only goes to me. Parents cannot communicate with each other. I can send a generic message to all parents, but when you reply, it's only me. I can also reply just to you about your child. So if your child is with me during the day and you have a simple question, I will immediately get back. I'll try to immediately get back to you. If you are home and virtual, I will try my best to get back to you when I don't have other students with me at that time, but that's going to be the fastest way to get a hold of me. So that goes along with this slide. There's our Tracy number. The fastest way to communicate with me is just using the Dojo app. But if it is a lengthier situation, you can always just email me. It's amiller@mtsd.org. Make sure you put the A in front because I believe there's at least 7 or 8 Millers in our district. So if you have any questions, those are going to be the best ways to get a hold of me. And I will be inviting you and your child into our Class Dojo and our Google Classrooms here in the coming weeks. And I will see students in person on September 16th. So in the meantime, welcome to third grade.